tap in. Tap, tap, 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 tap in. Welcome to TT from the D, y'all. This is Tap In Tuesday, and I'm your girl, TT from the D. I am super excited about tonight's hot topic. An honor that it is actually National Voter Registration Day. Did you guys hear me? It's National Voter Registration Day. Now, let me share something with you. First of all, are you 18 and older? I'm talking to all my 18 and older Michiganders because I'm a D girl from Michigan. Let me share this cute little picture with you. Okay. This kid said along this little sign around his neck, "I'm too young to vote. What is your excuse?" Right? You got to be 18 and older to vote, right? You got to be 18 and older to vote. Let's not make any mistakes about it. You must be 18 and older to vote, and you also need to be a United States citizen. Yeah, okay. And from what I understand, you need to have been a citizen for over 30 days. That I'm about 60% sure. But I believe I know you have to be a resident of your state for at least 30 days, but I think you need to also have been in the US for at least 30 days. I believe that's 60%. I believe 60% of that latter part. Then you must be, as I said, I'm talking to my Michiganders. You have to be a Michigander by living in your township or your city for at least 30 days. That is a fact. I know that 100%. And of course, we know you can be confined in jail or prison or have been convicted and sentenced while you're getting ready to vote. I know you're like, what? Yeah, facts. Now let me share something. Let me cut my camera off. I'm gonna be cutting my camera off a little bit here and there, sharing some graphics to you, brought to you by Michigan Nonprofit Association. Shout out to them. Let's go here. So the first up, what's on the ballot? Let's talk about it. What's on the ballot? I know you're probably like, what's on the ballot, TT? Okay, well, what's that little nice website running down below the screen? It would help you find out. But just in case you don't know what's on the ballot, you can go to www.mvic, and that's M as in Mary, V as in Victor, I as in I, C as in Charlie, SOS, Sam, Oscar Sam, state, Michigan, which is actually mi.us. So it should read www.mvic.sos.state.mi.us. And when you click on that, you'll be able to see what's on the ballot. Okay. It's going to show you view the ballot by your county, your jurisdiction, your precincts. Okay. So it's going to have an election. You're going to choose, right? It's already kind of selected for you. Put in your little county, put in your little jurisdiction, and then view your ballot. That's how you'll find out what's on your ballot. Okay. So you have to go to that website, check that out. The next one, you want to vote early, vote absentee. You're like, what does that mean, TT? Break that down. What does that mean to me? I'm glad you are taking notes. If you're not, that's what the beautiful thing about podcasting is. When you have a show that's pre-recorded or live, you can go back, pause, and, go back and confirm what you think you heard. Now, voting now in November, election, and skip the election day line by visiting www.mi.gov/vote to request a ballot by mail or visit your city or township clerk's office to vote in person using an absentee ballot. #MIVoting. Okay. You can request that absentee ballot If you clicked on that website and request it, as I said, you got to do a little bit of, technology. You got to use a little bit of that technology. And you want to do it within 2 weeks of the election day to avoid possible postal delays. You know how the mail's been running crazy for the last couple of months. Okay. And we are down on some election workers and postal workers and a lot of our essential workers, ladies and gentlemen. So let's not act brand new. We know we sure staffed all across the globe. Whether you're going to your local grocery store, you're going to your local gas station, your local restaurant, your local meat market, vegetable store, I don't care where you go. We are short staffed across the globe, right? Not just in the areas of voting. Last week, we talked about the opportunities that's going to be afforded to our Michiganders if you are interested in becoming a poll election worker. They're willing to train you and pay you to give time on November 8th to be a part of your community, right? So there's a lot of fun things with that. We want to talk about some important dates. Let me share these important dates with you. Okay. So take a look, pen, ink, pen, of course, pencil, crayon, marker, highlighter, eyeliner. I don't care what you use. Okay. Chalk. It doesn't matter. Take something to write down these dates because these dates are important. Put it in your calendar on your smartphone. Put it in your planner. Okay. If you carry a little pocket planner or your daily planner, put it on your calendar in Google. Okay. Most of us use Google. Use your Google Calendar. Whatever calendar you use, add these dates. They're important. Why should I vote, TT? My voice doesn't matter. Every voice matters, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Forget what you heard. Forget the stigma that's attached to that. Every vote matters. Yes, it does. Don't let nobody tell you that it doesn't. Your voice matters. My voice matters. Our voice matters. Okay? So listen, request ballots, the absentee deadline, November 4th. Okay? Return by mail because everything has to be in by November 8th. That is the day. That is the day. That is the day. What did I tell you guys last week? You might say, TT, I didn't tune in last week. I don't know. Okay, no problem. No problem. The registration deadlines by mail, it must be postmarked 15 days before, which would give you October 24th as your hard date. Okay? We could say it's a soft date. Only that because that's your soft date to make sure it's postmarked by that date. But that hard date, it needs to be on the desk, ready to be tallied and counted November 8th. Okay. In person, you could do that all the way on November 8th. We want you at the polls. We want you out there at the polls. Get your morning coffee, get your day started early. If you got to go on your lunch break, on your way into the office, on your way from the office, for all of my graveyard shift workers, right? All of my evening workers. Why is somebody trying to call me right now? No, we're not going to do that. We're not doing that. So anywho, so sorry about that. So I really want to reinstate it's important. It's important. Put that in your brain. Put that in your heart. Put that in your spirit. Put that in your mind. It's important. It's important to cast your vote. Yes, your vote matters, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, your vote matters. I want to share something to you. I'm going to read this. This is straight from the press, the White House press, right? So I know that this is accurate. You can go right to www.whitehouse.gov.briefing room and you can get this for yourself. If you don't believe me, this ain't TT from the D making it up. This is sound doctrine proof. And I'm going to read it to you. Okay, because some of us didn't know. Like, I wasn't educated. I wasn't up on it. I didn't watch or see any of the information last night. This went into full effect last night to be available for us on today, which is September 20th, 2022. Real time, right? Okay, so listen. From the briefing room, a proclamation of National Voter Registration Day 2022. Presidential action. The right to vote is the foundation of our democracy. It defines us as Americans and serves as a cornerstone of our liberty. With it, anything is possible in America. Without it, nothing is. It is a legacy passed down by our great leaders, a legacy which provides each one of us with a voice in the creation of a better nation. It is the source of our power as citizens, our mightiest tool of social transformation, and the stabilization traditions that confer legitimacy into our system of government. Each year, on National Voter Registration Day, we reaffirm our conviction that democracy only works when everything and everyone can participate, and we can encourage all eligible Americans to register to vote. That's why it's so important. Okay. That part was mine. That part is so important. That part was mine. Okay. Yeah. Our nation has not always lived up to its promise of equal access to the right to vote. And so many Americans have struggled, suffered, and died fighting for a stay and a say in the destiny of our country. From Seneca Falls, New York, to Selma, Alabama, to Washington, D.C., and across America, ordinary people like you and me have organized to protest disenfranchisement and won. The efforts of these courageous men and women have led to the passage of landmark civil rights legislations like the Voting Rights Act, the National Voter Registration Act, and the Help America Vote Act, which extended the blessings of a democracy to millions of citizens. Lately, however, those protections have been weakened by decisions of the United States Supreme Court of the United States. Yeah, it has. Now, state legislators are passing new forms of voter restrictions to limit participation and choose whose vote can count at all. We've come a long way, but we haven't gotten anywhere when it really, really gets down to it. Okay. I can't take it. I just can't take it. All right. Now, as the late Representative John Lewis is an icon of the voting rights struggle, would say, democracy is not a state, it is an act. Our founding fathers understood this, as did the suffragettes at the National Women's Rights Convention of 1848, the other giants of the civil rights movement. We be making moves, okay? Okay, we be making moves. And today's activists working for a freer, fairer, and more accessible voting system. Just as securing and protecting voting rights was the test of their times, it continues to be the challenge of ours. This is true. And this is what it says further on. As president, I will do everything in my power to protect the right to vote and ensure that every, not some, but every American has the free and fair opportunity to exercise this fundamental liberty. This means appointing highly qualified advocates to the Department of Justice and doubling the agency voting rights enforcement staff to ensure the department has the resources to fight voter suppression in court. It also means issuing an executive order to establish a whole of government effort to promote access to voter registration and election information, especially in some of our most underserved communities. Now, we know a few communities, don't we, Michiganders? Okay. I have directed my administration to take historic action to help college students and veterans register effectively. I continue to call upon and on the Congress to pass the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. These laws would have addressed elections supervision, remove dark money from politics and partisans, gerrymandering, we talked about that last year, and fix the gaping holes in the voter access left by the Supreme Court of the United States. This is coming from Joseph R. Biden. They would also allow the Justice Department to halt discriminatory laws before they go into effect. In celebration of National Voter Registration Day, which is today, let us honor the honorees who fought to secure voting rights and expand them. I call on all eligible Americans to ensure that their registration is up to date and encourage their family, neighbors, and friends to do the same. Let us all remain encouraged, engaged with ongoing struggle to build an America where every vote matters, where every citizen has the ability and the right to participate freely in the democratic process. We cannot give up now. The further of our nation depends on it. To learn more about how to register and check out your voter registration information, you can visit, and I told y'all the website, right? You can't. There's a national one, okay? Vote.gov. Just go to www.vote.gov. But for me, I'm talking on a local level of Michiganders, go to www.michigan.gov, okay? Now, therefore, this is still from the president, Joseph R. Biden. This is still his words from the United States press room yesterday. It said, now, therefore, I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, by virtue of authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim that September 20th, 2022, as National Voter Registration Day. I call on all eligible Americans to observe this day by ensuring that they are accurately registered by committing to cast a ballot in the upcoming election, which is November 8th, ladies and gentlemen. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 19th day of September in the year of our Lord 2022, and of the Independence Day of the United States of America 247th. Joseph R. Biden Jr. That is awesome. It's amazing how we still have to get people to vote on things that matter for us as human beings. Now, we're Americans, right? So we're talking only about the laws here in the United States of America. However, I personally believe, now this is TT from the D speaking, I personally believe that we all have the right to say. We all have a voice. In some countries, they don't allow you to speak your voice, share your opinion, depending on what you believe, what gender you are, and other things like that, right? So I'm grateful that I was born in this country where I have a voice. I'm grateful for opportunities like this one afforded to me by Michigan Nonprofit Association, Diverse News Association, Citizens Press, the Lord Savior for giving me opportunities every day to be a part of amazing work that's being done constantly. Right now, I'm talking about my Michiganders, but I love to use my platform to do work globally. I'm an empath by nature. That's the way God wired me, right? And I care about what we need. I enjoy what we want, but I care about what we need every day, the things we need every day to survive, to function, to live, to coexist, to exist, right? To be who we are, respected men and women of all colors, all genders, all nationalities, all creeds, all beliefs. Whether you speak my language, which is English, or you don't, I care about what you need. That's just the bottom line. I care about people. So I'm grateful. I'm excited that I've been offered this opportunity to use my platform in such a manner in this season. There was a time when I was younger when I really didn't believe that my voice mattered. You could have told me 25 years ago or more that I would be sitting before you and using this platform to reach people across the globe. It moves me to think that today in my lifetime, on this day, that I can actually sit before you and plead with you and ask you to do something so simple. Vote. We take time, ladies and gentlemen, to break bread, have a drink after work, happy hour, or go to concerts, movies, get with our friends, families. Some of us even partake in foolishness, but you can't take time out to vote. Some of the things you need to be voting on really will dictate how your future rolls out for you. Not tomorrow, not today, but for the rest of your life. There's laws being passed that gets passed often because you don't vote. Just when you think my voice don't matter, it does. Because if you don't help make a law that represents you, there will people that will make a law that represents you. Use your vote. Use your voice. Use your heart. Use your head. You got people to say, yeah, I vote when it's time to vote for a president. You need to be voting about the things that's going on in your local community, in your city, state, in your government. The things that's happening here in Michigan. Michiganders, we need to be at those voting polls on November 8th. For everybody that can walk, you rise up and you're able every day to have functional organs and active limbs and you're in your right mind. Do the right thing. Vote. We shouldn't have to bribe anybody. What incentives they gonna give us? What? Are you kidding me? Do you know there was people that used to be that share my skin complexion that would get water hosed down, a dog sicked on them because they wanted to stand in line and vote? It's those men and women that stood for what they believed in. See, they didn't have a TT from the D telling them, get out there and vote. Every vote matters. They were told their vote don't matter. They risked their lives many times to get to those polls. And here we are as Americans begging people to vote. The irony of it all. It's simple. Vote. P. Diddy had a couple of years ago a campaign, vote or die. It ain't necessarily got to be dying physically. You could be dying spiritually. You could be dying emotionally. You could be dying mentally. Think about voting for laws to be passed and changed that would help us get mental health back in our communities. Laws and rights and things that could be changed and put into place that could help us help these displaced men and women and families that you see sleeping under your local bridges, viaducts, along street curves that you complain about. Help get community centers open back up so our boys and girls can have a safe place to go. So they can have a safe place to go and have after school activities or learn a skill or join a team so they can be a part of a group. We talk about it, and a lot of people, their platforms, when it's benefiting them. I'm not going to call you out if you offended that I may be talking to you. How about use your platform and your voice, especially when you got followers and people who look up to you for a worthy cause by getting people out here to vote and getting them educated, not sway them on who or what party, but just getting out there and using their own mind, their own heart, doing their own research, providing them literature to help them be educated so they can stand at those polls educated, ready to use their voice to make a difference. Because for so many years, people that look like me, women too, genders, remember I said that earlier. It wasn't even if you was a different color than mine or not. There was a time when you women, period, even the ones that thought they were better than everybody else, you didn't even matter with your votes. We've come a long way, but we got so much further to go. And I don't know in this lifetime. God said he'll give you 70 years. That's 3 scores plus 10 for those of you that don't know. And a score is 20 years. Okay. Some of us will never see the beauty of everything unfold in this book we call life. But we see more than the ones that die before us. If you know someone who doesn't drive or don't have a car, don't have a ride, offer them a ride on voting day. You going to vote? I don't got no way. Offer them a ride. See, each one, reach one, teach one. Pay it forward. There's many ways for us to do that. I just want us to be strong as people. Human beings, men and women, boys and girls from all over the world. No matter what state you live in, what city, you need to be voting. Now, I know that I have supporters and listeners globally. I don't know what goes on in other countries like that. It's in my heart to start looking, though. We all can use encouragement and motivation every single day that we rise. I don't recall there being anybody putting it out there or coming up and approaching me or sharing information that was at the level and the capacity in which I could obtain and retain that encouraged me to vote. I can't recall. I'm for the people. Who are the people, TT? You, your friend, your family members, your neighbor, your coworker, your classmate, Your boss, your employer, your local grocery person, your local gardener, your local post person, your local delivery person, your local sanitation worker. I'm for the people. Aren't you? And by God, you are a part of the people. You are every bit as important as the men and women that we see on social media, that we pay to go see at concert venues, that we pack out, that we go broke trying to get dressed up to go and spend one evening. How about get dressed up and go vote? Make a day of it. There's something about standing in the voting line. It gets antsy. I know it gets antsy. It gets you like, oh my God, you start to shift from left and right on your hip, right? But there's something about, for me, this is my personal testimony. There's something about the feeling of getting up and going, standing in line, and standing in that little voting booth and casting my vote and getting the little sticker. You know, I love to get the little sticker like a child, right? I love the sticker. But just know when I walk out, I feel like I made a difference, Lord. See, I don't have to sneak to the voting booth, to the poll. I don't have to beg to go. I don't have to bribe anybody to take me. They're asking me to come. I'm asking you to go. Go vote. November 8th is the day. There are many ways that we can vote, y'all. But it starts with you, whether it's electronically, in person, or by mail. Your 15-day postmark date, your 15-day mark from the actual date of voting is October 24th. Put it on your calendar. You'll be seeing some promotional stuff from me brought to you by Michigan Nonprofit Association as we're leading up to the voting season. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. We just got through summer. Like, what? Summer came and went. Somebody asked me the other day, where did August go? I'm like, I don't know. It was like, hey, okay. It's like, they didn't even finish that conversation. September's here, right? And then October, hey, I'm a Libra. October is coming. My birthday is coming. Ow, I get excited. Yes, I love October. But seriously, it's a season. And it's a beautiful season. Know your season. Know your season. So remember what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to vote early. Okay? And if you can't vote early, that's okay. Get your booty on out to the poll on November 8th. Okay? Well, TT, I don't know. That's okay. Vote early, vote absentee. Okay? You can't get out there. You don't want to be out there. Whatever that looks like for you, it's all good. I need you to vote. We've shared the many different ways that you can get out there and vote. We gave you the hard deadlines, the soft deadlines. We went as far as letting you the postmark dates 15 days before election day, 15 days before online, right? Go to Michigan, www.mi.voting, get that information, right? We told you in week 1, we told you how to verify that you're eligible. We told you how to fill out the application, what to do on submitting your application, how that goes. We told you whether to go to the city, township clerk's office, that application process. And we told you that final piece on letting you know you voted, you're registered, you're ready to go. We told you that. We told you if you wanted to make some extra money. Last week, we talked about if you want to be a poll worker, if you want to help your community on November 8th, we gave you insight. You can't say you don't know. You can't say you didn't know. You'll start to see these commercials flooding social media, television, all these paid campaign things, people passing out things. Like you're hearing from your girl TT from the D. We're talking about it. I don't want to just talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to be about it. And not only do I want to talk about it and be about it, I want you to be a part of it. Help make a difference. It takes all of us to make change. We could talk about change. I attended a funeral today, a homegoing celebration today for my friend's grandmother. And one thing I heard said, People complain and have all these problems that they bring to our attention, yet they don't bring that same energy to give you a solution. Well, today, I'm giving you a solution. Get out and vote. That's the end game to it all on November 8th. Get out and vote.